If you ever wondered how this neck design is made, here is a video on how you can make this design. You go straight to the fabric you want to make use of, and these are the two fabric I'm using. I'm making a chest of 48 dress, and I have to divide 48 into 4, your normal calculation, and add 1 inch for seam allowance. But on this video I'll be adding up to 1.5 inch to my 12 inch, making it 13.5. I will explain why I'm making it 1.5. So for sake of clarity, I won't be forwarding this part, and pay close attention. After your cutting of the front part, the front two piece, you have to overlay it on the back of your outfit, the outfit you're making, just the way I did. You see what I'm doing? Then you make sure that the front part come out like about 1 inch. It comes out like about 1 inch. Remember we did about 13.5 in total, so I'm bringing out like about 1 inch. Then after my cutting, here is what I got. So you first keep the back part, you come back to it. Now I didn't add some part of this video because it was very long, and I will really be glad to answer your questions if you don't understand some, you missed some step. And now I have to measure like about 4 inch, and we are cutting the 4 inch on this other fabric we are using. You see, then we are making it like about 4 inch or more than, because you're still going to trim it. It will be very bad if it's not up to like 3 inch, or it's not up to that neck curve. It won't be good if it's short. It's better it's more than. Then at the end of the day, you see how I'll trim it, and this is it. And kindly like and subscribe, and I'll be glad if you invite other learners too. I will appreciate that. And you also make it a bit longer. This part you have to make it a bit longer too. I think the total length was about 31.5 or 30. The total length of this dress is about 31, so we added extra 1.5 inch, making it 32.5. So that's what you'll be making these pieces now you're going to use for the design. It should be like about the same 32.5. Then if it's longer, you have to trim it. It's better it's longer than shorter. So here is it now. Then you move straight to the sewing, and you make sure you sew on 1/2 inch. If you can't maintain a straight line, you might just want to rule it, and make sure you maintain your 1/2 inch. Then after sewing it this way, you have to top stitch it. Just pay close attention. I had to change my thread so it doesn't look rough. You see, I top stitch it this way, straight it to the down. Now after your stitching, you go straight to the table and iron it down. And remember, we had 1 inch on that front. It's remaining like about 1/2 inch, because 1/2 inch is gone. So you just make a good ironing there. You make a good ironing there, and you see what it's looking like. And remember, what you do to the left, you also do to the right on this part of the dress. So you have to trim off the excesses, and after your ironing and all that, you would have to trim off the excesses on the other fabric you are using for the front design. And we have different t-shirts. I didn't think it was really necessary for me to show you how I got it, because the video will be very long. So But if you want to know how I arrived at this point, you just let me know in the comment section. So at the end of the day, here is it. You weave the edge of the other part, and you see why hemming it. You make sure it doesn't extend to the edge of the neck there. You see where I stopped my hemming, and we'll get back to it, and I'll tell you why you have to gum it this way. And later you just heat it up and make sure the hemming gum melts. Gum it very well, just the way I'm doing. You know, good thing takes time. You have to take your time to iron it very well. Iron it. Then you see, you turn it over. Here is what you look like. Then after, you move straight to the joining of the neck, and after the joining, here is what I got. And remember, I told you we are doing a neck of 15. Okay, you see what I'm doing. After fixing the neck and after you're ironing, you can see the design. Even now we are not yet through with it. So, and remember the half inch I was talking about. That's what I'm demonstrating there, the half inch for the button, because a half inch is gone. You know, it was about 1 inch, then half inch is gone, then you are left with half inch for the button. So after everything, you have to hold the neck together just the way I did and measure like about 1 inch. You see, you have to notch the 1 inch, and you measure your neck starting from, see, you start from that 1 inch, you measure it all through. I wouldn't speed this one so that you get what I'm really doing here. You have to measure it all through, just like I'm doing. And you see, we had like about 15 inches here, but you won't make the neck this 15 inches. It should be about 15 and a half in total. If you do the exact 15, when you fix the neck and everything, you have a shortage. I don't know if you're understanding me, but if you're doing this pattern I'm doing, you don't make the exact 15, you add like about half inch. Then you go straight to the fabric you want to use for the neck, and you measure like about 3 inches. The total width should be like about 3 inches, and you see, and then you just have to rule it. Pay close attention here. The calculation is too much here now. So after everything, you would want to slant. You make this slant, and you remember the total neck of this dress was about 15, and I told you you're adding half of an inch, making it total of 15 and a half. So after the slant, you'd want to subtract 1 inch from that 15 and a half, making it the total of 14 and a half. So watch, from that slant I measured like about 14 and a half inch, and you might be wondering why I'm doing this. I'm doing this so I get the same slant on the other side of the fabric, so that I wouldn't want to make one side more curved than the other side. That's the essence of me, you know, doing what I did just now. And at the end of the day, you have to add extra half inch to that 14 and a half. Like, you know, the neck, this place we marked was 14 and a half, and the extra half inch I'm marking, if you make your calculation, it will still give you like that 15 and a half. Just watch. You see, is that 15.5 he gave you. Then wash. Just pay attention, and if you don't get it clearly, just ask any question. I will answer you. So at the end of the day, I have to trim on the second line I marked. The first line will be like about the 14.5. Then the half inch that will come out at the both side, like the design at the side, will complete it, the 15.5. Half inch is here, half inch is here. 1 inch plus 14.5 will still give you that 15.5. So just get what I'm doing. So here is it. Then you grab the material you want to make use of, and you see how I'm cutting it. You cut for the both side. Kindly like and subscribe. Invite your fellow learners to join my channel. I'll really be grateful for that. So at the end of the day, you just have to place it at this edge and maintain your half inch sewing allowance. So after sewing it, you see I marked it because I don't trust my eye. I have to mark it. Then you iron it. You want to make a good ironing at this part. Sorry, I won't speed it up. You have to be patient and wash. You have to iron it very well. You see, just be patient and iron. After the ironing, I just have to open it up this way. You see what I'm doing? You have to open it up and you hit it. You really hit it up. Please kindly like and subscribe to my video. It's really important to me. Very, very important to me. So here's what I'm doing. Then after, when you turn it, here is what it looks like when you turn it. It takes time, so you have to be patient. And after ironing it, you have to pick another fabric that will be on top of the collar, just this way. You see what I'm doing? You place it just this way, and you're going to thread on that half inch. You see the half inch at the top. The half inch at the top, you have to thread it this way. And you make sure that the fabric you want to use to turn the up now is wider than the actual neck we are working on. It should be bigger, larger, so that after everything you trim off the excesses. It won't be good if it's short. You have a mess on your neck. So at the end of the day, I have to trim off those excesses. You see, you just trim it off this way. Then after everything, you have to sew the top part, and you also repeat the process you did on the side. You would want to sew it and iron it. Press open it. and I know you would want to really get a neat and smooth finishing just like mine. And one of the secrets is in good ironing. You have to give it you take out time and give it a smooth and clean ironing. You see, you just give it a smooth ironing this way. Then here is it. You give it a smooth and clean ironing. You press it. And you have to grab a hairstay. I'm using a hairstay on this. You have to grab it, and you see what I'm doing. You place it. You make sure that the hairstay covers like about 1 inch or 1.5 inch on that other part of on that other side of the neck you're making, just like I did. So you have to give it a good iron in here. You have to pay much attention, and you see what I'm doing. You have to iron it. You iron it. You can't escape ironing this part very well. You iron it and iron it. You keep ironing it. So you can see from, we are not yet done, but you can see the shape of the neck from here. But we are still on ironing. You have to iron. Yes, as a tailor, you should learn how to give a good ironing. It makes your work smoother. Most of the times, it's not that you don't know how to sew. It's just that you don't have that time to iron. So after some minute of ironing, here is what it looks like. You see, smooth. Then you would want to see what I'm doing. You turn it this way and measure like about 1/2 inch. You see, measure like about 1/2 inch, and you iron it straight. Make sure your ironing is straight. So you iron it straight. It's straight this way, and you see what I'm doing. Then after, you also measure like about 1/2 inch there, and you rule it. You see, it's about 1/2 inch. I also decide about 1/2 inch too. You are going to stitch, and after stitching it, here is what it looks like. You see, I just have to trim off the excesses, and you see what I'm doing. And I will have to iron it. I iron it this way. You iron it this way. You open it and iron it. You iron it this way. And after, alright, at the end of the day, you just have to turn it over this way and just iron it as usual. You see, you iron the edge. You give it a good ironing this way. You just have to be patient while doing this part, because these are the designs of the dress. So if you don't give it time, then what are you doing? So You see, you maintain the half inch on each side of the neck you're designing, just like I'm doing. So go iron and wear. See what I'm doing now. You pay close attention here and make sure that each side of the neck is about that half inch. So after everything, you can see what we got. You see, it's very neat and clean. It's very neat and clean. Then you would want to hem the side, like the side of the neck and the top too. If you don't mind, you just fix it like that. But I think I will hem mine because it makes it firmer and neater, you know. So after everything, when you measure this neck, you have like about 15 and a half. Sorry, you have like about 15 and a half. If you follow the right process, you get your 15 and a half. So after the procedures, you just fix your hemming gum like I told you earlier. You just fix your hemming gum and you gum it, you just fix your hemming gum and gum it. Then you have your neck design. Then you remember this part I told you earlier, that you don't extend the hemming gum to the edge of the neck. So here is how you fill in the hemming gum now. Then after hemming it, you just give it a proper ironing, and you just have to pay much attention here because these are just a design, so it should be neat so that when someone sees it, so you just give it proper ironing and all that. That's it. And if you followed my prescribed steps on this video, you should come up with this particular result. Thanks, I appreciate. Then you remember this part we talked about earlier, that you don't extend your hemming gum to the edge of the neck curve. So here is how I fit in the hemming gum after fixing my neck. And if you want to learn how I did the neck fixing, I think just let me know. I will have a video for you because this particular video was a bit longer. Thank you. So after everything, you just fix it, and you take your time to fix it. Make sure you fix it very well. You don't just rough it, and you be patient and fix it. And after fixing it, and you have to iron it and all that, you just give it a good ironing and all that. Then after some minutes of proper ironing and sewing, you should be able to come up with this particular result. Thanks.